Good morning, my good friends. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome. Welcome. My name is Andre Lefevre. Andre Lefevre. I am an independent citizen journalist. My website is wildnews.us, and I have a full live stream for us today. We are going to talk about the Democrat Nazi Party. The Democrat Party has woken up to the fact that they have a public relations problem. Most Americans believe that the Democrat politicians use violent mobs to enforce their ideas. Just like the brown shirts of Hitler's Nazis, ANTIFA with Black Lives Matter and other lefty enforcers attack anyone who does not toe the progressive party line. Washington Post has decided to blame the Democrat violence on the Patriots and opened a disinformation campaign to whitewash the Nazi tactics of the Democrat enforcers. Their targets are us, the American man, especially white men. The progressive ruling class has invented the white male privilege, the rape culture, to justify an unlimited violence aggression against white men. In 1930s, the German Nazis used the same exact arguments against the Jewish man. Just substitute everything Democrat academicians and politicians say about the white man for the Jewish man, and the Nazi propaganda will come back into focus. The reality is totally different. The violence is solely perpetrated by the Democrat mobs. It is very convenient. It is very convenient for the Democrats and for the progressives to cast us, law-abiding American citizen men and women, as fascists. And to them, fascist is subhuman. And I agree, the fascist as a Nazi is a subhuman person, except who decides what Nazi and a fascist is? Not them. Because they are the ones who separate people into groups and declare one of the groups subhuman so it can be exterminated. We, the conservatives, the libertarians, we believe in individual responsibility. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in the in due process. So we don't believe in group responsibility, and this is why Democrats actually are the true fascists and the true Nazis. They don't believe in all of it. Now, you might think what I'm saying is that poor little white man. Yes, the Democrats and the progressives, the American academia, this small cadre of a banking ruling class that tries to run the roughshod over us, have declared American white men, or men in general, I'm not going to single out anybody by race, just men in general. If you have a male genitalia, you are evil and subhuman according to the current progressive ideas. Especially if you're white, then you have a white privilege. It doesn't mean that we're victims. I can see the rise of liberal movements such as MGTOW and men's rights. Men don't have any rights. And let me clarify that statement. Men don't have any rights in the sense that we're not victims. When you start talking about somebody's rights, you declare them a victim group, and you want to give them special privileges. This is the Democrat Nazi propaganda. There's very little difference between the communists, socialists, Nazis, and fascists. All of those ideologies are collectivists, and all of them came from the same progressive tree. The whole idea is to create a conflict between different social groups, declare one of the groups in 2018, those are American men, especially white men, and declare them outside the law so they could be exterminated eventually. Well, I'm sorry to tell my progressive, don't want to call them friends, just sorry to tell the progressives that since man was created hundreds of thousands of years ago, men have created everything that has to do with our civilization. Everywhere you look, every building, every scientific discovery, every gadget, everything, everything that constitutes today's civilization was invented, thought of, created, and built by men. And this is not disputed. This is not something. This is not something that can refute. This is not something that you can somehow say no, it's not happening. Without men, especially men of the European descent, there would be no civilization. There would be no planes, no computers, no cell phones, no sewers, no buildings, nothing. If all men by magic disappear, the women and children will starve to death within a year or two. It is simply, it is, I know it's logic, and I'm not talking to liberals and Democrats and progressives. Using logic is stupid, but this is just the fact of life. Now we came to the point, unfortunately, in our culture where the ideas of one man, one woman family, children, men taking responsibility for their action, have become dangerous. Nobody is protecting law-abiding citizens anymore. No one. Police, as we found out in Portland and other large cities, actually supports ANTIFA and Black Lives Matter rather than law-abiding citizens. And I think this is a natural state of affairs, believe it or not, for men. For too long, we, American men, took no notice. We took for granted that many things that our ancestors did for themselves, such as protecting yourself and your family, we relegated that to the government. Well, those days are over. It is obvious, it is absolutely obvious that nobody's protecting me, you, our wives and children, no one except us. So we just need to put our dicks in gear, start target practicing, making sure that our firearms are ready to use, making sure hit the gym, because we will win in November. I have no doubts about that, because we are the majority, because the Democrats and the liberals themselves don't have the winning ideas, and they have been exposed. So I expect a lot of violence. I don't think it will be the type of organized revolution as we see in a color revolution in Ukraine and other parts of the world. Recently, Macedonia, I think there was. No, I think Democrats and their frustration will organize their zombie troops just to beat up anybody who does not look like a liberal, anybody who looks like they're a decent, law-abiding, conservative person, man or a woman, anybody wearing a MAGA hat, anybody who is a white male and looks like they can't defend themselves, or even if they can defend themselves but overwhelmed with numbers. I think that would be I believe if they lose, that's where they're going to go after. So it is time. It is time for all of us to start preparing for that. And this is just a matter of fact. This is not a call to arms. This is not a call to do anything illegal. This is just stating the fact. I expect that if we win in November, which we will, for a while, especially in big cities, all law and order is going to break down. And the large city politicians are going to order the police to stand down. I'm looking forward for the November election, but but I also want to be prepared. Now, changing gears a little bit, I want to talk about Conor and Habib fight. Very violent confrontation. A very, very violent confrontation. I watched it and enjoyed it. I am no MMA or UFC expert, but I enjoyed that modern gladiatorial exhibition. As we all know, after Habib choked Conor out, he jumped over the cage, and we're going to see that in a second. Put together a couple of clips, and went after some people he didn't like. Many on liberal side pointed it out at the absolute evilness, if there's such a word, of the American men, especially white men, since both of those men are white. Even some on our side condemned this as a deterioration of our culture. Let me say a couple of things about that. For one thing, neither one of those men are American. Habib comes from the Republic of Dagestan. His full name is Habib Nurmagomedov, and you saw him just choke Conor out on the screen, and here he's going to go and jump over the cage. But be that as it may, he's not an American. He is a citizen of the Russian Federation, which is the Republic. Here he jumped. Here's the Republic. The Republic of Dagestan is part of the Russian Federation, so he's a Russian citizen. Conor McGregor is Irish. He's Irish citizen, and it looks like there are two crews, one Dagestani and one Irish, that really don't like each other and decided to mix it up on American soil. What does that have to do with American men, white American men, or anything American? I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm not going to analyze exactly what happened, except saying that after all that brawling, after all that wars of words, there only been a few bruises among the people that brawled. Nobody died. Nobody went to the hospital. Few people got arrested and then released. This is life. This is life. This is not utopia. And life can get violent. And we as men need to be prepared for that violence. Violence is normal. The only places where you don't have violence is in the strict totalitarian regimes where people cannot defend themselves, where the only party that can use violence is the government. Private people are not allowed to defend themselves or do anything. This is how you achieve a nonviolent society. In a free society, every man is free to defend himself, his women, his children, and his honor. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So, ladies and gents, especially gents, I suggest start hitting that gym, and take your firearms and make sure they're all in working order. I'm not saying that you will have to use them, but I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of violence after we win in November, and we will not initiate it. Now, I am on my website, wildnews.us, wildnews.us. If you have any comments, if you want to send me an email, go to the contact info. Actually, my phone number is there. But if you don't know me personally, it's probably better to initiate the contact through email. Even though if you want to call me and I'm not busy, I will pick up the phone. So if you have any suggestions for any of the stories that I have done, or any information about the stories that I have done, especially I am very interested in the Sunspot Observatory situation. Really, really interested in what's going on. And another story that I'm pursuing is the Canyon Springs high school shooting in Nevada. I can get a lot of information out of the law enforcement, and nobody can get any information out of law enforcement about Sunspot. So I appreciate you joining me on my live stream. I need to get back to work. I'm a true blue citizen journalist. I don't get paid for this. This is my hobby. I just took an hour break to do this live stream, and I appreciate you joining me a lot more than I can ever express in words. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and God bless you, my friends. God bless you.